Hey everyone, this is your friendly neighborhood billionaire team lead, and as a team lead who's a billionaire right now and he's optimized everything it can, and I'm drinking water because real developers don't drink coffee, we drink only water, and that's sufficient. That's how far we've come as an evolutionary step. And today I would like to give a very simple advice for younger developers. The very first thing I would like to teach you is you need to learn how to do statistics. You go and say Stack Overflow developer survey, right? And right off the bat, if you want to learn some new technology and you're not sure what to do, you're gonna go to forums, you're gonna ask friends. But actually there's this thing called statistics. It's really simple just to go here and, for example, say what are the most popular technologies. So from all of the correspondence you can see that JavaScript is the most popular technology. There's a section for most loved, and you can go and see that right now the React is most loved. See? So if you're thinking, should I do, for example, Angular or AngularJS versus React? If you're one who's chasing the dream and want to do it something that's really loved and fun, you can definitely choose React, right? The very same way, if you go just to most popular technologies again, you can make this sort of a comparison. For example, if one of the most loved technologies is SQL, right? But if you go to most loved, SQL is not in top 3. So even though it is a popular technology, it is not most loved. So in this way you can find something that's really used and really loved, and that could be the top one thing. For example, if we go to most popular technologies, we see that JavaScript is most popular technology. We go to what's most loved, you can see that TypeScript is. This is just my example how one can go about it statistically rather than asking his or her friends and just going to the forums, because everyone can give their opinion, right? And this is many opinions made into stats. Second topic I would want to talk about is, do you really want to go and become someone who's a niche developer? For example, I heard there's a need for COBOL specialists, even if you heard about this type of technology, but it's super niche, right? At least where I'm from, never saw at least one job in the Baltics where you see a COBOL developer needed, right? But that could be your niche if you want to train in something that's not really used right now, and maybe if there's a need for some developer, everyone will call you. But keep in mind that if that's too niche of the technology, you probably will not be able to find many jobs with it. The third thing I want to encourage you to do is see what's easiest to learn. For example, React, there's a lot of tutorials, there's a lot of things basically just to see and go and do it, right? But if you, for example, want to be a machine learning specialist, that's gonna take some time. First, you're gonna need some sort of mathematical understanding. Then you need to know the things like traveling salesman problem, and that's just algorithms. So you would need to spend your time on learning mathematics. You would need to spend your time on learning basically what are the algorithms needed for such a topic. And even after all this, you wouldn't be a super great machine learning specialist because you still would need a lot of experience actually building those models. Keep in mind that if something is hard to learn and you want to do it fast, maybe that's just not the way to start. Third thing is, as I mentioned, find something that's easiest to do. If you can learn, let's say, front-end fundamentals in 3 months and you can already be a developer, that's super great to start with. Next thing is regional jobs. So I don't know in what kind of area you are right now, but you can just quickly Google what kind of jobs are available in that area, right? And you can see, for example, like in Belarus, there's a need for Ruby on Rails. It's a framework of Ruby, right? But if you can't find something where are you living right now, maybe there's a better country or something even near you where you can do it. So next thing I want to say is you can look for international jobs. And this is really important because if you're in home country, you can find the technology that's really great or easy to learn. maybe you can travel. There are a lot of student programs, there are a lot of work and travel programs, so just, think about it. The sixth topic is open source community. This is a super huge topic. It would take me at least an hour to explain, but if I give you a short version, is this. If you want to learn something, just go and see if there's an open source project on GitHub and try to see how it works and why it works. For example, React library is open source, right? Open it up, see what's inside, see all the functions, and you can try learning from something that's already been done, instead of just making your hello world applications and seeing, well, I don't get it. If I can make hello world app, why can't I build an actual application? Because building an actual enterprise grade application and building hello world application are two completely different things, right? But if you see an application that's already been built, you can go through it. I think the term is reverse engineer it, right? And you can see how it ticks, what makes it tick, why it goes this way or it doesn't, right? And that way you can learn faster. The other topic I wanna talk about, or rather give you a sort of advice, is switch jobs early in your career. When you're a super young developer, I don't think you need to stay in one place and try to grow there all the time, unless that place is really great. But if it's not, super annoying console window, if that place is not your place, it will be really hard for you to grow from for example, junior developer to senior in one place, if there are a lot of senior developers there and they will not give you super crazy amazing jobs, right? But if you, for example, switch jobs, you can say, okay, I'm a mid developer now, and if you are good enough, maybe you'll get bigger salary or better experience. So do not be afraid to switch jobs early in career. There's not much to lose. When you're 50 and you've been in your job for 15 years, you're accustomed to the way it's been done, you know the people, you know the processes, basically you know everything that's there. Switching will be harder for you then, but then you're young. I would suggest just do it as soon as possible and as early as possible. The other point I want to make is look for super hard to troubleshoot projects. When I say this, a lot of people counter-argument me by, what do you mean shouldn't simple developers, starter developers or junior developers start with as easy to do hello world applications as possible? And my answer is always no, of course not. You should, when you need experience, find someone or some place where there's a lot of experience to be had. And what I mean by this is, if you just start doing hello world applications as a junior developer, you only know how to do those applications, right? But if you go into some troublesome project where there's been new technologies used, old technologies, basically there's a mix of technologies, there's a mix of patterns, there's a lot of anti-patterns, you will not learn the correct way to do it, but what you will learn instead is what is bad, and that makes all of the difference. For example, there's a lot of developers that I see in conventions, then they start speaking, oh, I don't know, I think this is the way to work with databases, or I don't know, this is the way to work with databases. But the problem is, none of them actually worked with big enterprise grade applications, right? So let me give you an example. If you're just starting out and you get some old bad legacy project that no one wants, that's actually a very good project for you, because you will see a lot of code, you'll have a lot of time to go through it and basically learn what's good, what's bad, right? Instead of just starting out with a new application, building it by following some simple description based, what is this guy? Let me kill him. Basically simple description based tutorials, right? And you'll be making a lot of mistakes. You'll be using some patterns you think are correct, or some way to work a database you think are correct, but you will never be sure, and that is actually understandable, right? So this advice is simple: find big project, legacy even, and learn from it. and then you'll become a more experienced developer. You'll have something you can look at and say, oh, I know how to do this, or I know how not to do this, right? Now the other topic I would suggest is high adrenaline jobs versus chill jobs. So there are companies there's sort of a very fast paced, you have to do something, and there are companies there's a very slow, unhinged paced. So if you're starting out, I would say check between the two. Maybe you'll find that in like faster phase development you can learn faster, or maybe that's too stressful. But if that's not too stressful for you, I would definitely say, come on guy, just basically enter a place where there's a lot of things for you to learn and really fast, and just do it, right? That's my advice. Because if you, for example, will go into a company that's really slow at building things, you'll learn really slow. But again, it all comes down to how much stress you can actually handle. If you can handle stress, I would definitely suggest doing it this way. And the last and hopefully not least point I want to make in this series is work with HR specialists early on. And I cannot stress enough how simple this point is and how much people actually miss this point. Because senior developers, we are not too keen of talking with HR specialists, because we do get a lot of communication from them, and it's usually, oh, you've been doing Java, so it's like JavaScript, right? No, it's not. Just Google it and you'll see there's a huge difference, right? But for junior developers, there's I don't know even the better way to actually get what's fun or great right now, rather than speaking to a person who's searching for developers, right? So my advice is this: find top HR companies or top HR people in your areas and just basically speak to them. Be as blunt as you can and explain what you want to do. For example, hey, my name is Jim, I want to be a C# developer. Are there any available jobs where can one learn C# as a junior? He will say yes, no, maybe, but you'll get the relevant information. And if you do have at least some degree of understanding, he will be able possibly to sell you to some company. And if you are not good at expressing yourself, it is basically HR specialist job to basically sell you to some company. So at least in my opinion, that's a super good way to start, instead of just looking for jobs yourself and trying to represent. And even imagine the situation, if you just finished college, right? You just graduated and you have no job hunting experience whatsoever. It's gonna be tough. Why do it yourself? Then there are specialists who, this is their bread and butter, to sell people for companies, right? For money. So yeah, this was a second production of TeamLead, Billionaire TeamLead, because I gathered a lot of resources in this world and sell them in real one. Yeah, as you can see, I'm in this super cool office. And this is it. I hope you guys liked it. If you do like it, press that button to say that you do. You can subscribe. I'll be making more of these. And for now, have a nice time. Goodbye.